Hey everyone, as I said that I am gonna make more stories, so here comes another one. This time it is gonna be about Reddit stories from the Reddit subreddit, more specifically, Am I the Asshole? Now, the background video or the, the footage itself is gonna be from actually the time I was gaming. It was right after the first video that I recorded. Nonetheless, I will get right into it. Am I the asshole for asking my friend to pay me back for the wine he drank while house sitting? So I, 26F, had my friend, 27M, watch my place and my cat for the weekend. I told him he could help himself to whatever in the kitchen, which I thought was just like common sense for snacks and stuff. I get back and realize he opened this $120 bottle of vintage Barolo I was saying for my promotion. He literally drank the whole thing alone while watching Netflix. When I asked him about it, he got all weird and said, I gave him permission because the wine was in the kitchen. Like, okay, but who drinks $100 bottle of wine without asking first? I sent him a Venmo for $80, gave him a discount, lol. And now he's calling me tacky and told our group chat I'm a bad host. I feel like there's literally an unwritten rule of guest logic where you don't touch the most expensive thing in the house. If I tell you to help yourself to my garage, it doesn't mean you can just drive off with my car. I don't know, am I the asshole here? He's making me feel like I'm being extra, but I feel like he totally took advantage of me. I don't know, it's also just $120. Now, I must say honestly, I feel like that is indeed outrageous. $120 bottle, and you just come in and drink it when you have to just sit there for a bit? Like, come on, man. Obviously, I do agree that there is an unwritten rule that if you are saying that, you don't take the most expensive thing. It's the same way as if your friend is paying for your meal at a restaurant, you don't take the most expensive thing. You're not gonna take caviar when your friend said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna pay for this one." You take like a normal meal, you know. You don't really go for the most expensive top shelf type thing. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think about this one. The second story is gonna be a little bit longer. Am I the asshole for arguing with my MIL, mother-in-law, about my husband's feelings for spaghetti? Throwaway account because my MIL follows my real one. That's crazy, by the way. What? My husband and I, both 25, were visiting my MIL's house for dinner this evening. After dinner, my husband offered to drive his youngest sister to a friend's house so that MIL could stay home after cooking. While he was out, MIL and sister-in-law, SIL, and I sat around in the living room chatting. SIL is preparing to move out on her own soon and was asking about an easy-to-cook dinner recipes I had. One of the things I brought up was spaghetti. When I said that, MIL chuffed and asked if I only make that when DH is working late. I was confused and told her no. She said, well, he doesn't like spaghetti, that's why I asked. Again, I was confused. I told her that he likes it now, enough to request that I make it decently often. To that, she said, is it maybe your favorite thing to make and he knows it? Is that why he asks? At this point, I started to get a little annoyed because I could feel it going in the direction that she isn't a stranger to, which is the I'll always know more about my son than you sort of thing. So, where I would usually just shrug and say, I don't know, to keep the peace, I decided I would push back this time. I told her that every time I make spaghetti, he polishes off over half of it that night, and leftovers don't last either. Then MIL turned to SIL and said, you remember how much he hates spaghetti? He would practically gag over it. To which SIL shrugged and said, maybe he changed his mind. And MIL went on to say, no, I know him. He's stubborn about tastes. So I asked MIL if she thought I was lying about him liking spaghetti, and she rolled her eyes and asked me if this was the hill I wanted to die on. To which I said that she was welcome to ask him once he got back. She shook her head and told me there was no need for her to ask, that she knew her son and she would know the answer. After that, conversation faded and we all sort of just got on our phones, until my husband walked back into the house and the first thing I said was, "Hey babe, do you like spaghetti?" And of course he said yes in a confused tone. I gestured my hand to him and looked at my MIL and said, "See?" And she got up and said, "I gotta do something," and went back to her room and did not come back out until we left. On our way home, I explained the spaghetti thing to my husband, which he honestly did not care about. He had just asked why I asked. But about an hour ago, MIL sent my husband a big text about how I was rude and telling her that he only likes spaghetti because I'm a better cook than her, which I did not say. So am I the asshole for arguing it? Does it make me childish, even though I was a little fed up with the whole song and dance? To be honest, that's a strange mother-in-law. I'm not gonna lie. How can she argue like? Although I do kind of understand that there are mothers-in-law like that, which kind of treasure their sons and think that they know them better than anyone. But hey, here's the news, right? People change, and in this occasion, I would assume that the person also changed. But oh well, it is what it is. You know, you argue a bit of about spaghetti, and that just lights up your day a little bit for someone. Maybe for the others not, but it did light it up a little bit for me. Cause how on earth are you gonna argue about spaghetti? But oh well, hey, each to their own. So the last story, the third story of the day, is gonna be about something that, well, as I'm getting older, is gonna be very relevant for myself as well, especially as some people around me are getting married. So this is about someone who is about to be a best man. Am I the asshole for stepping down as a best man because I can't afford my brother's bachelor party plans? I, 26M, am supposed to be the best man for my older brother, 29M, this coming month. I love him, but he has always had champagne taste on a tap water budget, and he is obsessed with projecting a certain lifestyle on Instagram. Last night, he called an emergency Zoom meeting with the groomsmen to discuss his bachelor party. I assumed we were going to rent a cabin, grill some steaks, and maybe go to a local brewery. Instead, he shared his screen and presented a literal PowerPoint for a 4-day VIP bender in Las Vegas. The plan includes splitting a penthouse suite, booking premium bottle service at 2 different nightclubs, and renting exotic cars for one afternoon. After the call, he emailed us a breakdown of costs. My share of the weekend, not including my own flights or gambling money, came out to just over $3,500. To make it worse, he also included a mandatory squad uniform in the budget. He wants us all to buy matching maroon velvet blazers and wear this incredibly tacky oversized novelty roulette watch so we look like absolute legends walking across the casino floor. I literally cringe reading the itinerary. The absolute irony here is that while he's demanding his friends max out their credit cards to fund his influencer fantasy, he's notoriously cheap when it comes down to his own wallet. His fiancée has mentioned before that he spends a lot of time trying to source the cheapest possible items online, and that he recently ordered bulk groomsmen gifts from Alibaba to cut costs, so it feels strange that he's comfortable asking us to spend this much. I called him privately after the meeting and told him there is absolutely no way I can afford a $4,000 weekend. I work in logistics and I am trying to save for a house. I don't have room in my budget for a trip like this, especially not a short notice. He blew up at me, saying that I'm not supporting him and that this is a once in a lifetime event. He said that as best man, I should be helping make it happen. Now my parents are telling me to just put it on a credit card and deal with it later because it's your brother's wedding. I told him if this trip is mandatory, I may need to step down as best man because I genuinely can't afford it. Am I the asshole for drawing that line? I feel like I'm losing my mind. Now, as someone who's in that age gap where I will have to prepare for something like this, well, not exactly like this because I'm from Europe, still, something like this, I would say that it's normal and you're not the asshole at all for drawing that line. Because obviously you're not gonna spend 4,000 on a weekend just to look like some kind of influencers. Come on, man. First off, you will also have to spend a lot of money on gambling probably, because this seems like a group influenced people, or at least the person itself seems to be. I mean, at the same time though, if you are in Las Vegas, you gotta gamble a little bit, right? Although I do not condone, and I would never condone, do not gamble. It is not good because you will lose your money. House always wins. Now that's why I'm saying that he is not the asshole. Obviously you don't want to spend that much money, and if the guy who's getting married wants to have that kind of bachelor party, then fund it at least half of it for the others. If you want to at least have that, then split the cost or do something about it. Although yes, they are sharing it because they all spend time there. Still, it is a lot of money, and I would say no, he's not the asshole. He should not pay that money, and if he has to, step down as a best man. Don't just don't. No, and you guys as well, don't get influenced by someone else's desires and I don't know, wants when you can't really support that financially. That's gonna be it for today. Those were a quick few stories. I do hope you enjoyed them. And if you did, please do like this video and subscribe. And of course, let me know in the comments as well what kind of stories you would like to hear. Maybe you have specific stories and you would like me to read them. So send them in, send those links in the comment section below, or also in the description, you can see my Discord. So just let me know, direct message me. I will accept the ones that genuinely ask me about the stories. So nonetheless, if you have those stories, send them in and I will read them for the following videos. Other than that, I hope you have an amazing and blessed rest of your evening, and as always, much love.